love you guys. It's so good to be with you. My name is Kelsie, if we haven't met yet. I'm one of the worship leaders here. Quick shout out to you guys here at Lino and over at White Bear Lake. I love my Wednesdays with you. It's so fun. And this is my first time giving a message here. Actually, it's like my first time giving a message, period. So let's hope I don't screw this up, right? But huge thank you to Mark for this opportunity. Can we make some noise for Mark tonight? Woo! We love Mark. All right, we are in the fourth week of our series called Momentum. We've been talking all about how we can get and keep momentum in our faith through these 5 actions. Follow Jesus, spend time with God, live generously, serve others, and connect in community. Tonight, we're gonna be talking about that 4th action, serving others. So to get started, I feel like I've gotta come clean with you guys about something. There's something I've been hiding. It's a deep and dark secret, and I just kind of decided that I can't lie about it. I can't hide it. I can't deny it, so I might as well just come clean with you all about this truth in my life, and here it is. I take so many selfies. Like, I have over 1,000 selfies on my phone right now. Anyone else love taking selfies? Let me see you. And this habit of taking selfies started a while ago. Like, I can remember taking selfies with a disposable camera, and if you don't know what that is, this is what it looks like. Isn't it beautiful? And it's exactly what it's called. It's a very cheap camera that you would buy for an occasion or an event, or in my case, just for yourself, to take some wonderful pictures with, and then you take it to a photo center. I know, fancy thing, which is basically like order pickup at Target. You drop your phone off, they'd print the photos for you, you'd come back, pick it up, and they'd throw your camera away. Now, here's the huge risk with taking selfies this way. There's no screen, so you have no idea what you're gonna look like. I mean, there could be stuff in your teeth, your eyes could be closed, it could be a terrible angle, you know, like that low angle that just doesn't look good on anyone. Or maybe the person who printed your photos thinks you're pretty stupid for taking photos of your own face. And don't worry, you guys, I brought some real winners for you to look at. Let's check out some of my early selfies. I mean, look at this. I'm so precious. Now, the next one's my fave. The duck face. Anyone do a duck face still? Is that still cool? I don't know why that's like the position we go to. Okay, next one. This one's important. This is not my good angle. It's the other way because I have this ginormous zit here that I was trying to hide. And then the big puka shell necklace, once again, the duck face. And then, of course, the moody selfie. You know, put a little black and white filter on it and everyone knows you're feeling serious. Something big's going on in your life. And honestly, what are you supposed to do with a printout selfie? I mean, remember, these were on paper, not on your phone. I mean, no one's hanging up their selfies at a Starbucks or in their crush's locker or in their own room, or are you? Because if you're doing that, you need to stop. That's super weird. We post our selfies on our social medias so that the person we hope will see it will be just kind of scrolling through their feed one day and happen upon us, right? But here's the deal. We live in a selfie culture, which is all about promoting ourselves. And haven't we all been tempted by this idea of getting famous or rich on social media from our selfies? Or maybe it's just more views and more likes. I think we've all started to believe this lie that the others in our lives, like our friends, our teachers, our small group leaders, are simply there to help us get to where we want to go. And is this really how we should be living? I mean, should we be promoting ourselves, putting ourselves first at the expense of others? I want to tell you all a story from the Bible that I think describes this idea of selfie culture a little better. In the book of Mark, 2 of Jesus's closest friends were more concerned about themselves and their own status than others. So here's what happened. James and John, the 2 friends I already talked about, come to Jesus asking him for a favor. They want the best seats in the house when they get to heaven, okay? And these would be the seats right next to Jesus. And honestly, they are standing right then and there in the flesh with Jesus, and they're still more concerned with how cool they're going to be when they get to heaven. Now, the rest of the crew that Jesus hangs out with, who also happen to be friends with James and John, find out what they asked Jesus, and they're all thinking, what's the big deal? Why do you guys think you're so much better than us? Why do you think you're so deserving, so cool? And this, by the way, is what happens when we're thinking only of ourselves. We search for meaning and popularity and the best angle. We all want the best seat in the house, and we're willing to put others aside so we can get there. Now, Jesus gives James and John an answer to their question, but it's one that I don't think they were expecting to hear. Jesus says this in Mark 10. It's not going to be that way with you. Whoever wants to be great must become a servant. That is what the Son of Man has done. He came to serve, not to be served, and then to give away his life in exchange for many. And I don't know about you guys, but I really want to be more like Jesus. And from what we just read, words that Jesus himself said, we have to be willing to think of ourselves less. And we have to think of others more if we want to be like Jesus. If we want to build momentum into our faith this year, we have to be willing to serve others. Tonight, I want to help you better understand what serving is. So to do that, we're going to define two truths of serving. And the first one is this: serving is selfless. Figuring out how to be selfless can be really tricky sometimes. When I tried to remember the first time that I tried to be selfless, it was honestly so painful. Growing up, my little sister and I, shout out to the little sibs in the room. You guys are awesome. We love you even if we don't tell you enough, okay? We love to have stands and sales at the end of our driveway. I'm talking lemonade stands, cookie stands, toy cleaning stands, toy sales, garage sales. If we could figure out how to sell it, we did it. And I don't know what it was with our neighborhood, but we always crushed. I am talking money on money on money. And I think that's probably why I wanted to sell so much of my stuff. And one summer, I was about 12-ish, and I had been saving up all of my money for this super cool TV with a DVD player built into it. Now, I'm sure none of you know what that is. Essentially, it was a box with a TV screen on it that had a drawer underneath that would pop out, and you'd put this shiny disc called a DVD inside of it, and it would play a movie, just one. It would play a movie, and it was awesome. And none of my other friends had a cool TV like this, let alone a TV in their own room. So I knew I needed to have it. So I'd been saving up all my money. I was in the kitchen getting ready for my next stand when my mom came in and started telling me about this children's home in Mexico. We had friends who would spend parts of their summers there serving these kids who would live there during the week when their parents couldn't afford for them to live at home. Our friends would bring supplies, cook meals, clean rooms, bring them toys. And the home was run by a few staff members, but honestly, it depended on the help of volunteers, just like my friends, and the home was always in need. At least that's what my mom was telling me. I had completely tuned her out at this point. I had no time for my mom or her story. I needed to get out there, get selling, make some money. So I went out, and soon my stand was in full swing, and man, it was looking good. There were tons of kids on their bikes. There were minivans loaded up with friends and families. I could hear the beach from my driveway, and then suddenly, it hit me. I was comfy and cozy in my own home, selling my stuff to make more money so I could go out and buy myself more stuff while my friends were gone, away from home, helping kids who needed help, and my gut just sank. I mean, have you ever had that achy, yucky feeling in the pit of your stomach when you know that you need to do something, but you don't wanna. I don't wanna. I knew in that moment I needed to give my money, all that I had been saving, to this home in Mexico. And guys, this was not easy. First of all, I wanted my super cool TV, okay? I'm not proud of it now, but I wanted it. And second of all, I had been working so hard all summer saving this money. I had set up sale after sale, stand after stand. I had made signs, mixed the lemonade, cooked cookies. I had saved my money. That meant no ice cream, no movie theater tickets, no new shoes. I had given up time at the beach in my backyard to sit at the end of my driveway. But as painful as it was to give all of that up, I realized over time that all the work I had put in made it possible for me to serve. All the hours I had put in working hard had been a way for me to serve this home in Mexico while I was still here in Minnesota. A guy named Paul tells some of his friends this in the book of Philippians: don't push your way to the front. Don't sweet talk your way to the top. Put yourself aside and help others get ahead. If we want to help those in need, we have to make an inward change. We have to put others in front of ourselves. Serving others does mean that you are going to give something up. And as painful as that could be, that thing you give up will go on to help someone else. For me, I gave up my money. I gave up my time. I gave up my energy, but that meant someone else, the kids in Mexico, had clothes and food and toys. For you, it might be giving up your off night of chores because you know your siblings have a lot of homework to do, so you're gonna do the dishes. For others of you, it means you're gonna step away from your usual YouTube binge for a couple hours to dust the house because you know your mom has a crazy week at work. And still there are others of you who just need to stop and tell your dad you love him even when you're running late for school. Serving is not about us. It's about seeing the people that are around us and meeting a need. And let me tell you, it takes practice and it takes time. I forget to serve people all the time. But I have noticed in my own life, when I think of myself less, like I'm not just sitting around taking pictures of my face all day, I start to see the needs of others around me because serving is selfless. The next truth we're gonna talk about is this: serving is small. I think we can get confused by the idea that serving has to be something big or expensive or difficult or long. Like when I say serve, I think a lot of people think you have to go away on a missions trip to a faraway country, or you're gonna dig some wells, or you're gonna give thousands of dollars away, or you're gonna spend a whole day at a homeless shelter. And then we take those ideas and mix it up with this whole selfless thing I was just talking about. And a lot of us are just like, no, I am not cut out for that whole serving thing. But that is simply not true. Even the smallest actions can meet the biggest needs. In college, I had a teacher who asked our whole class to never chew gum in her classroom. She simply told us that it gave her a lot of stress, caused her anxiety, so no one chewed gum. And that's the end of the story. It was as simple and as small as that, but we were serving our teacher. We can all serve small. And the best part about serving small is it's something that you can do every single day. The first small way you could try to serve is with your attitude and with your actions. For some of you, you need to serve your parents by not being lazy. Get up, Clean your room, do the dishes, take out the trash, and do it without being asked. Do it with enthusiasm and joy and love. And for others of you, you need to show it for your friends. If they're having a great time, throw a party, celebrate, jump up and down, make some noise. But if they're going through a hard time, a dark time, you need to be willing to cry with them, to hug them. Be angry with them, be sad with them, and still there are others of you who need to serve through kindness. Stop trying to be a part of the popular crowd. Stop talking about people behind their backs, like your friends, your small group leaders. Stop making fun of the people around you and the people who are trying to lead you. For all of us, we can serve better if we simply really love the people who are around us. And we can all do that because Jesus did it for us first. Remember the answer Jesus gave to James and John back in the book of Mark. He came to serve, not to be served, and then to give away his life in exchange for many. So tonight, I want to challenge you all to think selfless and think small. What is one thing you could do this week to serve? Who is one person that you could serve in a small way? I want you all to take 5 seconds and think about a person. Ready? Here we go. All right, now take out your phones. Snap a killer selfie of yourself so you remember this moment and the person. And if you don't have a phone, don't worry about it. Just be like me. Pretend you have a super awesome disposable camera. Take one out. Let's all take a selfie. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, duck face. All right, y'all. Hey, while you finish up your selfies, I'm going to pray. Hey. Let's pray together. God, it is so good to be able to know you and to be able to love you. God, as we work to figure out this whole faith thing, where it's going, where you're wanting to take us, God, it is our prayer that we would learn to be more like you. God, help us find ways that we can be better people, even if they're small, simple things. God, would you plant ideas in our hearts and our minds tonight so that we could take something that we've learned tonight and put it into action this week? God, we thank you for serving us first, for going before us first, and for loving us first. It is so good to be known by you and to love you. And all these cool people said with me, amen. You guys have a great night.